Siddhis: supernatural, psychic, and magical yogic powers. Magic in Hinduism encompasses a broad spectrum of supernatural phenomena, from divine miracles to occult powers wielded by ascetics, yogis, and practitioners of esoteric traditions. Magic in Hinduism can take various forms, and it is often depicted in Hindu mythology and epics. Deities such as Lord Krishna, with his enchanting flute and miraculous exploits, epitomize the divine use of magical powers. The epics Ramayana and Mahabharata are replete with instances of mystical events, showcasing the interplay between mortals and the supernatural. However, magic, Abhichara, and Jādu, and supernatural abilities Siddhis in Indian traditions is not solely confined to myth and philosophy. It finds expression in various rituals and ceremonies. Tantric practices, for instance, involve the use of mantras, yantras, sacred diagrams, and mudras to channel cosmic energies. Practitioners of certain yogic and tantric traditions aim to attain siddhis through disciplined practices to influence the natural order. Some practitioners of certain spiritual traditions in Hinduism may claim to possess magical powers, which they use for various purposes, including healing, protection, and influencing events. However, it's essential to note that views on magic within Hinduism can vary among different sects, schools of thought, and individuals. In addition to the positive associations with magical powers, Hinduism also acknowledges the potential dangers of misuse of such powers. While the pursuit of magical powers is acknowledged within Hinduism, ethical considerations play a crucial role. The Indian sage and yogi Sri Aurobindo reveals the secrets of magical powers in his letters. Jādu, magic, is a special practice which is done by professional magicians or those who learn the art of the magician, but it is no part of yoga. What happens in yoga is that sometimes, or even very commonly, certain powers develop in the sadhak, by which he can influence others or make them do things or make things happen that he wants. This and other yogic powers should never be used by the sadhak for egoistic purposes or to satisfy his vital desires. They can only be used when they become part of the realized divine consciousness by the Mother herself or at her command for good and unselfish purposes. There is no harm in yogic powers that come naturally as a part of the new consciousness and are not used for a wrong personal purpose. For instance, you see something in vision or dream, and that happens afterwards in the waking state. Well, that is a yogic power of prevision, knowing future things, which often occurs as the consciousness grows. There is nothing wrong in its happening. It is part of the growth in sadhana. So with other powers, only one must not get proud or boast or misuse the powers for the sake of desire, pride, power, or the satisfaction of the ego. When the sadhana progresses, one almost always gets the power of vision. What one sees is true if one remains in the right consciousness. There are also wrong voices and experiences. The people who have gone mad went mad because they were egoistic, began to think themselves great sadhaks, and attach an exaggerated importance to themselves and their experiences. This made them get a wrong consciousness and wrong voices and visions and inspirations. One must not get attached to these things, but observe them simply and go on. Then they become a help and cannot be a danger. The mention of siddhis can be traced back to various ancient Indian scriptures and texts, including the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, where they are described as supernatural abilities that can be attained through the practice of yoga. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, a foundational text in the philosophy of yoga, serves as a guide to spiritual enlightenment and self-realization. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali introduces the concept of siddhis in the third book, Vibhuti Pada. These powers are considered natural outcomes of a deep and disciplined engagement with the yogic path, leading practitioners toward higher states of consciousness and spiritual evolution. A little over 20 siddhis are listed in the third book of the Yoga Sutras, but an exact number is difficult to pin down because the abilities may be interpreted in different ways, and there is some overlap. Knowledge of the meaning of sounds produced by all beings, knowledge of previous births and arising of future births, the disappearance of the body from view, foreknowledge of birth, harm, or death, loving kindness in all, extraordinary strength, knowledge at a distance, knowledge of the outer universe, knowledge of the inner universe, knowledge of the composition and coordination of bodily energies, liberation from hunger and thirst, exceptional stability, balance, or health, the knowledge of everything that is knowable, knowing of the origins of all things, influencing others, levitation, clairaudience, freedom from bodily awareness and temporal attachments, mastery over the elements. While Patanjali acknowledges the existence and potential attainment of siddhis, he emphasizes the importance of ethical conduct and spiritual maturity. In Sutra 337, he warns against becoming attached to these powers, as such attachments can hinder spiritual progress. Practitioners are urged to remain focused on the ultimate goal of self-realization and the realization of the transcendental self beyond the allure of supernatural abilities. Patanjali, in his wisdom, cautions against the misuse of siddhis for personal gain or ego enhancement. He reminds practitioners that the pursuit of these powers should not divert them from the true purpose of yoga, liberation from the cycle of suffering and the realization of one's divine nature. Ultimately, the Yoga Sutras offer a holistic approach to spiritual evolution, wherein the attainment of siddhis is viewed as a natural consequence of a deep and disciplined yogic journey. While the attainment of siddhis can be pursued, true spiritual wisdom emphasizes the transcendence of attachment to such powers in favor of realizing the ultimate truth of one's divine nature. Ashta Siddhi, also known as the 8 Siddhis, refers to a set of supernatural or mystical powers that are traditionally mentioned in various Indian spiritual and yogic traditions. The term Ashta means 8 in Sanskrit. These siddhis are often associated with advanced yogic practices and are considered attainments that arise as a result of profound spiritual development. Widely known in yoga are the Ashta Siddhis, also known as Brahma Pradana Siddhi, divine attainments. Anima, the ability to become infinitely small, allowing the practitioner to shrink their physical form to the size of an atom. Mahima, the ability to become infinitely large, enabling the practitioner to expand their physical form to cosmic proportions. Laghima, the ability to become weightless or levitate, allowing the practitioner to defy gravity. Garima, the ability to become extremely heavy. With this siddhi, one can exert immense strength and stability, akin to a mountain or a solid object. Prapti, the ability to access desired objects or places instantly, regardless of distance or obstacles. Prakamya, the ability to manifest desires or realize objects out of thin air. Isitva is the attainment of lordship or becoming the Lord, which includes supremacy over creation and the ability to destroy at will. The ability to control natural elements and forces. Vasitva, the ability to control and influence others, including animals, humans, and celestial beings. With this siddhi, one can command obedience, instill fear, or inspire devotion in others, exerting authority and power over living beings. These 8 divine powers can be found in various legends and traditions of India, including the legend about the creation of the entire world by the goddess Mahashakti, Siddhidhatri. According to Shaktis legends, the universe was once a vast void, shrouded in darkness. Then, a divine light emerged, illuminating every corner. This radiant energy took form as the goddess Mahashakti, who gave birth to the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. She bestowed upon them their roles, Brahma as the creator, Vishnu as the preserver, and Shiva as the destroyer. To aid them, she granted divine powers known as Siddhis Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Garima, Prapti, Prakamya, Isitva, and Vasitva. With these powers, they created the world, filled with stars, oceans, and life in various forms. Alongside their divine duties, she created their wives, Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati, to assist them in their cosmic tasks, ensuring balance and harmony in the universe. In Hindu mythology, Siddhidhatri is revered as the ninth and final form of the goddess Durga, particularly within the context of Navratri, the nine-night festival dedicated to the worship of the divine feminine. The name Siddhidhatri is derived from the Sanskrit words siddhi, meaning attainment or accomplishment, and datri, meaning giver. She is worshipped for granting spiritual and material fulfillment. Siddhidhatri is believed to possess all the siddhis, supernatural powers, and blesses her devotees with divine knowledge and wisdom. Siddhidhatri is believed to grant her devotees various supernatural powers, such as the ability to achieve spiritual enlightenment, mastery over the elements, clairvoyance, healing abilities, and more. Various spiritual paths, such as Tantric Buddhism, Sikhism, Samkhya philosophy, Vaishnavism, and Shaivism, each offer their own interpretation of siddhis, reflecting the diversity and richness of spiritual practices within Hinduism and its related traditions. In the Bhagavata Purana, central text in Vaishnavism, the concept of siddhis is elaborated upon, offering insights into the extraordinary powers that can be attained through dedicated practice of yoga and meditation. Enumerated within the Bhagavata Purana are 5 main siddhis, each highlighting a unique aspect of spiritual mastery. Trikalainyatvam, this siddhi bestows upon the ability to perceive the past, present, and future with clarity and precision. Advandvam, this siddhi confers upon the capacity to transcend dualities such as heat and cold and other opposing forces. Parachita adi abhijnata. With this siddhi, the practitioner gains insight into the minds of others, discerning their thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Agni arka ambu visa adinam pratistambha. This siddhi encompasses the ability to neutralize or withstand the influence of elemental forces such as fire, sun, water, and poison. Aparajaya. The final siddhi, aparajaya, denotes invincibility or unconquerability. It signifies a state of inner strength and resilience that remains steadfast in the face of external challenges and adversities. In addition to the main 5 listed, Krishna describes the 10 secondary siddhis, anurmimatvam, the ability to remain undisturbed and unperturbed by bodily desires such as hunger, thirst, and other physical discomforts. Dora Shravana, the ability to hear sounds from distant places that are beyond the range of normal hearing. Dora Darshanam, the ability to see objects or events located far away, beyond the range of normal vision. Manojava, the ability to travel to any place instantaneously, simply by the power of thought. This is often referred to as astral projection or teleportation. Kayama Rupam, the ability to assume any form or appearance desired. This can involve changing one's physical appearance or shape-shifting into various forms. Parakaya Pravesham, the ability to enter into the body of another person or being. This is often associated with spiritual possession or channeling. Svachanda Mrutyu, the ability to die voluntarily at will without experiencing physical pain or suffering. This is sometimes seen as a form of conscious exit from the body. Davanam saha krida anudarshanam, the ability to witness and participate in the recreational activities, games, and pastimes of the divine beings or gods. Yatha sankalpa samsiddhi, the ability to accomplish one's determinations, aspirations, and intentions perfectly or flawlessly. This refers to the power of manifesting one's desires into reality effortlessly. Ajna apratihata gati, the ability to move or act freely without hindrance or obstruction. This implies having unimpeded access to higher knowledge and intuitive insight. The Dattatreya Yoga Shastra, believed to have been composed in the 13th century, stands as one of the earliest Vaisnava texts to systematize Hatha Yoga under this name. Within the Dattatreya Yoga Shastra, yoga is delineated into 3 distinct types: Mantra Yoga, Laya Yoga, and Hatha Yoga, all of which culminate in Samadhi. Mantra Yoga entails the repetition of mantras until one attains supernatural powers, siddhis, while Laya Yoga focuses on dissolving the mind through practices like Kundalini, awakening. Regarding pranayama, the text prescribes sitting in the lotus position, Padmasana, and practicing breath retention, leading to the acquisition of various powers such as levitation and extraordinary strength, enabling the yogi to overcome formidable creatures like tigers, buffaloes, elephants, and lions. Meditation is classified into 2 categories, with attributes and without attributes. Meditation with attributes grants the practitioner powers like becoming very small, while meditation without attributes, such as focusing on space, leads to liberation. Mantras are often regarded as potent tools for achieving siddhis. Mantra Shastra refers to the ancient Indian science or discipline of mantras. It encompasses the study, practice, and application of sacred sounds, syllables, or phrases that have spiritual, transformative, or divine power. According to Mantra Shastra, the repetition and contemplation of specific mantras, coupled with sincere devotion and disciplined practice, can lead to profound spiritual transformation and realization. The practitioner gradually attunes themselves to the vibrational essence of the mantra, unlocking its inherent power and potential. Mantra-Siddhi refers to the perfection attained in a particular mantra, achieved through the repetition of the mantra a specific number of times. Achieving Mantra-Siddhi signifies that the practitioner has attained mastery in the chosen mantra and can quickly access its benefits or fruits. For example, repeating Nrsimha Kavachi, protective mantra dedicated to Mahavishnu in the form of Narasimha, 32,000 times with a pure heart bestows the most auspicious blessings, including material and personal achievements. The Indian Mantra Shastra serves for many spiritual practices, encompassing rituals and meditations alike. Mantras often play an indispensable role in sadhana, serving as tools for purifying the nadis and transforming prana and other esoteric energies. This science delves into the intricacies of sound production and its effects, guiding practitioners on elevating consciousness through the rhythmic resonance of cosmic vibrations, shabda. Among the manifold types of mantras are bija mantras, nama mantras, and dharanis. Bija mantras, typically short one-syllable words, are chanted to foster concentration, mindfulness, and a meditative state. These potent tools activate specific frequencies of sound vibrations within the body, heart, and mind, facilitating the stabilization of prana flow and harmonizing the 5 elements. In meditation, bija mantras are employed to calm the mind and stimulate energy centers, thereby releasing blockages and restoring balance to the 7 chakras. Each of the body's 7 chakra energy centers corresponds to a unique one-syllable seed mantra, which serves to awaken its inherent vitality and latent power. Channeling awareness to the location of each chakra along the spine while chanting its bija mantra promotes harmonization on both the physical and energetic levels. While mantras can yield profound benefits when employed correctly, their misuse or inappropriate application can potentially lead to negative physiological or psychological consequences. In traditional spiritual paths, seekers undergo rigorous training, purification practices, and ethical development under the guidance of a qualified teacher before engaging in advanced mantra practices. This preparation is necessary so that the practitioner is mentally, emotionally, and spiritually equipped to handle the transformative energies invoked by mantras. The intention behind mantra practice is paramount. Mantras are not mere sound vibrations, but carry profound spiritual significance and potency. Reciting a mantra with impure intentions or without reverence may yield adverse effects rather than spiritual growth. While mantras offer a potent means of spiritual evolution and transformation, their effective and safe utilization requires proper preparation, guidance, and alignment with ethical principles. In many traditions, particularly within the realm of Tantra, proper initiation is deemed essential before embarking on the practice of some tantric mantras. Tantric texts emphasize the importance of initiation, cautioning that even if an unprepared individual accidentally hears the correct pronunciation of a mantra, attempting to utilize this knowledge without proper initiation may prove futile or even harmful. The transmission of a mantra involves its awakening by an experienced master, thereby enabling it to exert its beneficial influence on the consciousness of the student. Using a mantra without proper initiation is seen as risky, as the potent energy encoded within the mantra may become uncontrollable and lead to unintended consequences. However, Shabar Mantras are a specific category of mantras within Tantra traditions. These mantras are believed to be more accessible to the common people. They do not require Purasharana and act almost immediately. Purasharana is a set of ritual actions that is performed to master the power of a mantra. Practitioners of Shabar Mantras believe that these mantras are imbued with immense power and can produce quick and effective results when chanted with sincerity and devotion. These mantras are often used for various purposes, including protection, healing, success, fulfillment of desires, and the achievement of other siddhis corresponding to the mantra. In the Balkanda of Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas wrote, "With the advent of the Kali Yuga, Shiva and Parvati, out of concern for the welfare of the world, created a collection of Shabar Mantras. These mantras have unstructured syllables and devoid of any literal meaning or prescribed methods of recitation, yet through the energy of Lord Maheshwar, their inherent power becomes evident." Nath legends often associate the Shabar mantra with the names of Mahasiddha Matsyendranath and Guru Gorakhnath. The Mahasiddhas, also known as the Great Accomplished Ones, are highly revered figures in various schools of Buddhism, particularly in Tibetan Buddhism and the Indian Tantric traditions. They are considered masters of esoteric knowledge and advanced spiritual practices, often depicted as having attained profound realizations and extraordinary powers, siddhis, through their dedicated practice. The exact number of Mahasiddhas varies depending on different sources and traditions. However, the most commonly cited number is 84. While the Mahasiddhas are often depicted as possessing magical powers, their primary significance lies in their profound spiritual realization and their ability to guide others on the path to liberation. Mantra-Siddhi refers to the 84 Siddhis in the Nath tradition. This tradition venerates both the Nathas, 9 Naths, and the Siddhis, 84 Siddhis, as highly revered spiritual figures who have attained profound levels of realization and supernatural abilities in spiritual practices. The Nath tradition is a complex and multifaceted sect within Hinduism, characterized by its emphasis on spiritual practices, asceticism, and the pursuit of esoteric knowledge. The followers of this tradition are known as Nath Yogis or Nathas. The Nath tradition is often associated with the legendary figure Gorakhnath, who is considered one of its key founders and is the incarnation of the god Shiva. Stories depict Gorakhnath as a wandering yogi with supernatural abilities, including shape-shifting and the power to control natural elements. Matsyendranath is often considered the guru of Gorakhnath. Legends surrounding these figures include stories of their extraordinary powers, mystical teachings, and their roles in the transmission of esoteric knowledge. According to legend, Matsyendranath was swallowed by a fish. And while in the ocean of samsara, he accidentally heard yoga knowledge from Adinath, Shiva, intended for Devi, Parvati. After 12 years of practicing yoga, sadhana, inside the fish's belly, he finally became an enlightened Siddha. Under the guidance of Matsyendranath, Gorakhnath immersed himself in spiritual practice, delving deep into the secrets of yoga, tantra, and mystical wisdom. He mastered advanced techniques of meditation, breath control, and energy manipulation. Legend has it that Gorakhnath attained extraordinary powers through his spiritual practices, including the ability to levitate, control the elements, and heal the sick. He traveled extensively throughout India, spreading the teachings of yoga and tantra, and initiating sincere seekers into the mysteries of the Nath tradition. Guru Gorakhnath is believed to have authored several significant texts, including the Yogabīja, Vivekamartanda, Goraksha Samhita, Siddha Siddhanta Padati, and others. The Yogabīja text provides insights into a comprehensive system for attaining liberation, moksha, through various yogic practices. It encompasses mantra yoga, laya yoga, hatha yoga, and raja yoga, emphasizing that liberation requires both knowledge, jhana, and yoga. The text presents a dialogue between the goddess Deva, Parvati, and the god Ishvara, Shiva, elucidating the path to becoming an immortal Jivanmukti, invisible yet alive. Within the Yogabīja, specific attention is given to mudras, breath retention, 3 bandhas, techniques that aim to lock prana in particular areas, and Saktikalana Mudra, energy movement, which are aimed at awakening the Kundalini energy. It also emphasizes the significance of pranayama in controlling the mind and achieving liberation. Furthermore, the Yogabīja distinguishes between supernatural powers, siddhis, that manifest unintentionally, akalpita, and those deliberately sought, kalpita, through methods such as herbs, rituals, and mantras. It considers the latter powers as inferior, emphasizing the importance of spiritual growth over the pursuit of material abilities. The Nath tradition incorporates elements of both yoga and tantra. The practitioners focus on the cultivation of spiritual power, siddhis, physical and mental disciplines, and the realization of the divine within oneself. The practices may involve physical postures, asanas, breath control, pranayama, meditation, and the chanting of mantras. The Nath tradition is rich in mysticism and esoteric practices, setting it apart from other traditions in Hinduism. The Nath tradition incorporates tantric practices that involve the manipulation of energy, often emphasizing the awakening of Kundalini energy. The Nath tradition places a strong emphasis on secret or esoteric knowledge, Gupta Vidya, which is passed down orally from guru to disciple. This knowledge is considered transformative, leading to spiritual awakening and liberation, moksha. Matsyendranath, a revered figure in the Nath tradition and a key founding figure of Hatha Yoga, also holds significance in the realm of Tantra. Known by various names such as Macha Muni or Minanath, Matsyendranath is attributed with the authorship of the Tantric text Kaula Nirnaya, a sacred scripture belonging to the Yogini Kaula school. The Kaula Nirnaya Tantra is a repository of the most esoteric teachings within the Yogini Kaula school. The traditions of this school is intimately connected with the mysterious 64 Yoginis that embody the divine feminine energy. The Chausath Yogini Temple, also known as the 64 Yogini Temple, located in Hirapur, symbolizes and venerates these mystical Yoginis. The Yogini Kaula school is a specific tradition within the broader context of Kaula Tantra and Tantric practices in Hinduism. The term Yogini refers to a female practitioner of yoga or a devotee of the divine feminine. The Yogini Kaula school places a particular emphasis on the worship of the goddess and incorporates yogic and tantric practices aimed at spiritual transformation. The Yogini Kaula school places the goddess, often in her various forms such as Kali, Tara, or Tripura Sundari, at the center of worship. Devotees engage in rituals, ceremonies, and meditative practices to connect with and honor the divine feminine. The Yogini Kaula school places a strong emphasis on the concept of Shakti, the divine feminine energy that is considered the dynamic force behind creation. Shakti is revered as the active, creative power of the universe. Like many Kaula traditions, the Yogini Kaula school is known for its secretive nature. The teachings and practices are often transmitted orally from teacher to disciple, and initiation, diksha, is considered essential for gaining access to the deeper aspects of the tradition. The tradition also includes mystical and esoteric practices aimed at attaining spiritual insight, awakening Kundalini energy, and experiencing higher states of consciousness. It is believed that the 64 Yoginis symbolize the chakra system described in the 9th chapter of Kaula Nirnaya, attributed to Siddha Matsyendranath. In this system of 8 chakras, each has 8 petals, which together symbolize 64 Yoginis. Each of the Yoginis, in turn, symbolizes specific qualities associated with a particular chakra, as well as certain siddhis that practitioners may attain. The purpose of worshipping these 64 Yoginis is often considered to be the acquisition of siddhis, including those listed by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras. The Sri Matrika Tantra lists many other magical powers that devotees can obtain by invoking the Yoginis correctly. These powers range from the ability to wield forces of destruction to the sublime, from the ability to cause death and dissolution to delightful poetry and seduction. Not only in the Kula traditions, but also in various other spiritual traditions, there is a belief that siddhis, or supernormal powers, can manifest through the activation and purification of certain energy centers known as chakras. Chakras are subtle energy centers located along the spine, and they are believed to correspond to different aspects of human consciousness and physiological functioning. The number of chakras may vary depending on the tradition, but it is commonly believed that there are 114 chakras, with the main focus typically on the 7 primary chakras. Each chakra is associated with specific qualities, elements, and psychic powers, and it is believed that as one progresses in their spiritual practice and inner development, the siddhis associated with these chakras may naturally manifest. The chakra system is most often associated with the awakening of Kundalini energy. The Kundalini is depicted as a dormant serpent coiled at the base of the spine, residing within the Muladhara chakra. Through various yogic practices such as pranayama, breath control, asana, postures, and meditation, the practitioner aims to awaken this latent energy and guide it through the central channel, piercing each of the chakras along the way. Different chakras are associated with specific qualities and powers, and as they become activated, practitioners may experience corresponding siddhis related to those chakras. These powers are viewed as natural manifestations of the awakened consciousness and are believed to arise spontaneously as the practitioner progresses along the path of spiritual evolution. The Shiva Samhita are important texts within the Tantric tradition that provide insights into the relationship between chakras and siddhis, and also elucidates the process of awakening the Kundalini and harnessing its transformative power. The Shiva Samhita is one of 3 major surviving classical treatises on Hatha Yoga. The text describes the techniques for stimulating the chakras and balancing the flow of prana, life force. A diligent yogi, through the practice of pranayama, attains the 8 major psychic powers: Vakya Siddhi, prophecy powers; Kachari Siddhi, ability to transport himself anywhere; clairvoyance, subtle sight; power of entering another body, changing metal to gold, becoming invisible and flying in the air. A yogi should practice holding his breath for 3 garis, 1.5 hours, and with this he will achieve Siddhi. The text discusses 11 mudras. These mudras are Yoni Mudra, Mahamudra, Mahabandha, Mahaveda, Kechari, Jalandhar, Mulabandha, Viparitkarana, Udana, Vajroni, and Shaktishalan. Diligent practice of these mudras per instructions can bestow upon the practitioner several supernatural powers like clairvoyance, ability to make prophecies, ability to fly, become invisible, and walk on water. One is cured of all disease and decay, one's sins are destroyed. The chapter 4, Chaturthapatala, begins with the description of Yoni Mudra and contemplating on Muladhara chakra, which is very bright as thousands of sun and cool as thousands of moon and shines like a bandhuka flower. It is believed that the one who practices Yoni Mudra achieves perfect consciousnesses, overcomes death, attains Vaksiddhi, the power of truthful speech, and can travel anywhere at will. Here are the siddhis described in the Shiva Samhita, chapter 5. Muladhara chakra, or root chakra. The wise man who always contemplates on this Muladhara obtains Darduri Siddhi, the frog jumping power, and by degrees he can altogether leave the ground and rise in the air. The brilliancy of the body is increased, the gastric fire becomes powerful, and freedom from disease, cleverness, and omniscience ensue. He knows what has been, what is happening, and what is to be, together with their causes. He masters the unheard-of sciences, together with their mysteries. On his tongue always dances the goddess of learning. He obtains Mantra-Siddhi, success in mantras. When the yogi contemplates this Muladhara lotus, then all his sins are destroyed. Swadhisthana chakra, or sacral chakra. He who daily contemplates on this Swadhisthana lotus becomes an object of love and adoration to all beautiful goddesses. He fearlessly recites the various Shastras and sciences unknown to him before, becomes free from all diseases, and moves throughout the universe fearlessly. Death is eaten by him, he is eaten by none. He obtains the highest psychic powers like Anima, Laghima, etc. Manipura chakra, or solar plexus chakra. When the yogi contemplates on the Manipura lotus, he gets the power called the Patal Siddhi, the giver of constant happiness. He becomes lord of desires, destroys sorrows and diseases, cheats death, and can enter the body of another. He can make gold, etc., see the adepts clairvoyantly, discover medicines for diseases, and see hidden treasures. Anahata chakra, or heart chakra. He who always contemplates on this lotus of the heart is eagerly desired by celestial maidens. He gets immeasurable knowledge, knows the past, present, and future time, has clairaudience, clairvoyance, and can walk in the air whenever he likes. He obtains the psychic powers called Kachari, moving in the air, and Buchari, going at will all over the world. Vishuddha chakra, or the throat chakra. He who always contemplates it is truly the Lord of the yogis and deserves to be called wise. By the meditation of this Vishuddha lotus, the yogi at once understands the 4 Vedas with their mysteries. When the yogi, fixing his mind on this secret spot, feels angry, then undoubtedly all 3 worlds begin to tremble. His body never grows weak, and he retains his full strength for 1,000 years. It becomes harder than adamant. Ajna chakra, or the 3rd eye chakra. By contemplating on this chakra, one attains the highest success. Within that petal, there is the eternal bija, the syllable tam, brilliant as the autumnal moon. The wise anchorite, by knowing this, is never pulled down. Sahasrara, or crown chakra. By contemplating on this chakra, one becomes godlike. His mind becomes pure, and he can see the future. All his sins get destroyed. All accidents are warded off. It's important to note that the manifestation of siddhis is not the primary goal of spiritual practice in many traditions. Instead, siddhis are seen as natural byproducts of spiritual awakening and are often regarded as distractions on the path to higher states of consciousness and self-realization. Additionally, the awakening of chakras and the manifestation of siddhis should ideally be approached with humility, discernment, and ethical responsibility. In the wider Tantric tradition, Kaula, also known as Kulamārga, refers to a specific path or lineage within Tantra that is characterized by its rituals and symbolism centered around the worship of Shakti and Shiva. The Kaula tradition is known for its esoteric practices, which include various forms of meditation, mantra recitation, yantra, and ritualistic ceremonies involving sexual symbolism. Kulamārga places a strong emphasis on the integration of spirituality with daily life and the recognition of the divine within oneself and all aspects of existence. It is characterized by its holistic approach to spiritual practice, which seeks to harmonize the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of human existence. The Kaula tradition, unlike some other spiritual paths, does not impose strict limitations or condemn various actions. Instead, it embraces all aspects of life, including sexuality, love, social interactions, and artistic pursuits as avenues for spiritual growth and evolution. In Kaula Tantra, these aspects are seen as integral parts of the human experience and are honored as such. Central to the Kaula tradition is the practical approach to attaining liberation. The guiding principle is to integrate whatever is pleasant and positive into one's spiritual practice, recognizing the inherent sacredness in all aspects of existence. Group practices within the Kaula tradition are typically restricted to members of a specific Kaula, or spiritual family. These practices may include rituals, festivities, initiations, and the secretive tantric sexual union. The purpose of these practices varies, ranging from the initiation of novices into the tradition to the expansion of consciousness and the expression of bliss attained through spiritual advancement. Through these group practices, participants deepen their connection to the divine and to each other, cultivating a sense of unity and oneness. While some aspects of Kulamārga may involve unconventional or controversial practices, such as those involving sexuality, The underlying goal is typically one of spiritual growth, realization, and union with the divine. These rituals can practice only people with certain knowledge and character qualities. Untrained people may harm themselves with these practices. Tantra practitioners call upon the deity to come in their own bodies instead of images of divinities, and worship a deity directly in their own bodies. Thus, one's body becomes a temple of divinities. Such rituals can be collective. In this case, they are called chakra puja. Sadhaka focuses more on anubhava, first-hand experience, rather than on ritual conventionalities. In turn, the Kulamārga traditions are also associated with the mysterious practices of Abhichara. Abhichara is a form of tantric magic in India, which includes rituals and practices aimed at achieving personal goals and the fulfillment of worldly desires, such as wealth, success, and prosperity, as well as self-improvement, empowerment, and spiritual elevation. Abhichara is often associated with the worship of Bhairava and Kali. Bhairava, often depicted as a fierce form of Lord Shiva, is worshipped for his ability to grant strength, courage, and protection against obstacles. Kali, often depicted as a fierce form of Shakti, on the other hand, is revered as the goddess of time, change, and destruction, as well as the fierce protector of devotees. The worship of Bhairava and Kali within the context of Abhichara involves rituals, mantras, yantras, and other sacred practices aimed at invoking their divine presence and harnessing their transformative energies. In esoteric traditions, practitioners often include divinatory tools into their magical practices to gain insights, guidance, or to enhance the effectiveness of their rituals. The Sri Matrika Oracle is a spiritual tool used for divination and guidance rooted in the ancient wisdom of the Hindu tradition. While the Sri Matrika Oracle itself is not limited to Abhichara practice, it is often used as a tool within certain branches and schools of Abhichara. The oracle typically consists of a set of cards or symbols representing different aspects of the divine, such as gods or goddesses, qualities, or energies. Practitioners of the Sri Matrika Oracle use these cards or symbols to connect with the divine energies and receive guidance, insights, or answers to their questions. They may invoke the blessings of the gods represented in the oracle and interpret the messages received through the cards or symbols. The Sri Matrika Oracle can be used for personal reflection, meditation, or seeking guidance on various aspects of life, including spiritual growth, relationships, career, and health. It is essential to approach such practices with mindfulness, integrity, and a deep understanding of their potential impact on oneself and others. While some practitioners may utilize Abhichara for benevolent purposes, others may employ it with less noble intentions, such as manipulating or controlling others for personal gain. In the Tantric tradition, there are also 6 mystical rites known as Shat karma, which correspond to the powers of our chakras. These forces become manifest when the chakras are awakened. The first mystical rite is Shanti, meaning peace. However, in the context of magical action, it refers to the ability to pacify others through magical means using mantras, yantras, and visualization. The second rite is Vashikarana, signifying subjugation. This entails the power to bring individuals completely under control, making them as subservient as slaves. The third mystical power is Stambhana, denoting stoppage. This involves the ability to immobilize beings or render situations ineffective. The fourth rite is Ukatana, meaning eradication. It enables one to eliminate someone from a distance without direct physical contact. The fifth mystical action is Vidvashana, representing causing dissension. This grants the ability to sow discord among groups, inciting conflict or division. The sixth and final rite is Marana, indicating causing death. This is the ability to kill someone from a distance. While these 6 magical actions may sound intriguing, they fall short of the true tantric ideal of liberation through knowledge and spiritual upliftment. Siddhis, the various supernatural and magical powers, feature prominently in nearly all spiritual traditions. Yet in Hindu yoga and Tantra traditions, there's a cautionary approach, warning practitioners that these abilities arise as a consequence of spiritual progress, not as an end in themselves. Along the spiritual journey, the practitioner gains mastery over their lower nature, often evidenced by the acquisition of siddhis and superpowers, allowing manipulation of these natural forces. However, becoming fixated on these abilities and chasing after siddhis can halt spiritual growth and lead one astray from the true path, ensnaring them in the influence of lower energies. In the vast landscape of mysticism and metaphysical exploration, the concept of magical powers and abilities serves as a testament to the profound potential within the human spirit. However, it is crucial to recognize that these extraordinary powers, often viewed as byproducts of advanced spiritual practices rather than the ultimate goal, are but signposts along the path to a deeper understanding of existence. True enlightenment lies not in the attainment of supernatural abilities, but in profound inner transformation and spiritual awakening.